Laying on our backs. Our breath is starting to flow for us. And so as we're starting to consciously let our breath expand just a little bit deeper than the natural rhythm, we begin to notice that there's a natural pause after the inhale and a natural pause after the exhale. So we're going to start taking a box breath, that's what I call it, that helps us to accentuate that pause just a little bit more than natural. And so we do this by envisioning a square or a box in our mind's eye, and starting at the bottom left corner, we trace it clockwise. And so as we're tracing up the left side, that's our inhale. We take it for 4 counts. We trace along the top of the box, that's the pause after we've inhaled, also 4 counts. Exhale down in your mind's eye, down that right side of the box, 4 counts. Pause after the exhale to bring us back to the beginning, 4 counts. This is a breath that not only helps us to slow everything down, so it helps us to be a little bit calmer, but it's also very good because it's helping us to build a little bit of the muscular strength in the diaphragm and in some of the other breathing muscles that make it so our lungs actually get stronger and more capable to take deeper breaths as we go. So I'll guide us through 2 rounds, and then we'll take a few rounds afterward just at our own pace. You may notice that you like personally to go faster or slower. When we shift to our own personal ones, that's when you're welcome to make that transition. But we'll start here with an inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. So take a few more rounds, maybe faster, maybe slower. Just going at your own pace. Good. If this breath is natural, you're going to continue as I take another moment to connect with an intention for the class today. This breath will be one that we will continue to carry forward as we travel in toward our class. So nice and calm, making it with that extra emphasis of those pauses. So the connection that we're going to start building up is the idea of a circuit. Imagining just a very simple circuit with a light bulb and a battery. We have the connection that goes both ways, so the connection from battery to light bulb. If you just have one part of that connection, just that much of the circuit, the battery will never light. You have to have the second connection from the light bulb back to the battery. That complete circuit makes it so the light can shine really brightly for us. And so we're envisioning this box breath is like us tracing over our circuit to make sure that all the connections are there, make sure all of it is present. So that way we're not skipping over any important parts. We're making sure that it's absolutely present, absolutely there. The entire circuit is working for us. And so you can use that as a metaphor traveling into our body. Focusing on our breath itself is helpful, but perhaps you're also, while focusing on the breath, imagining you're connecting to muscles and to other areas of the body just to check in with the circuits, making sure everything's working properly. And so that'll be the simple idea that will lead us into our class today. So with that idea to lead us on, let's take the knees into the chest, nice and gentle. A few moments to rock around on that low back. Just getting things to open up there. You'll notice that the poses that we're going to include in class today will make sure to incorporate a lot of the common big muscle groups all over the body. So not necessarily focus on one thing or on another today. It's all over the body, getting overall wellness happening. And so first things first, let's send our knees over into a twist. Knees simply falling over to the left side. The shoulders opening. Already perhaps checking in with the circuits of the body. Just checking in with how this feels. And then when it feels natural to you, see if you can take that box breath. Just inhale 4, pause 4, exhale 4, pause 4. At whatever speed or rate that 4 naturally wants to flow for us. Sometimes I'll challenge the breath just to keep it interesting for me, keep my mind engaged. Sometimes I'll purposely go a little bit faster for a few rounds just to see how it feels in the body. And then sometimes I'll slow it down, making the 4 counts seem like it takes forever. So you can play with it. You'll notice that in different poses, there's different possibilities available. So let's take 2 more cycles of the box breath to this side. After the second round, knees start to come up. Let them fall over to the other side right away. And as we're tuning into the circuits that go through this area, let's begin that breath. 4, 4, 4, 4. Sometimes when we're on that exhale hold, I'll notice that my body's able to release even deeper into the stretch. So if that feels natural, that you want to try to deepen the twist at all, maybe extend that left hand further away, that's an option. You don't have to force anything. Today's much more about releasing into the postures. But if it does feel good, there's nothing wrong with taking that. So let's go through 2 more cycles at whatever speed we're traveling. As that second box comes to its completion, start to return hips back down onto the ground. Allowing the feet to spread about as wide as the mat. Take a few windshield wipers. Knees going left. Knees going right. The next time the knees fall over to the left, let them stay. Maybe this is all the knees want to handle. If it feels okay to take the left ankle and rest it on the right thigh, that's okay as well. Personal preference there. If it ever gets to be too much for the knee, you don't have to include that. Now, depending, if you'd like to also start working onto the right quad a little bit, allow that right foot to continue inching its way over to the right until the entire inside of the right knee is down on the ground. So again, if that doesn't feel good on the knee, don't force it. Sometimes this is pretty intense. Only if there's still space for more. Find your tailbone and scoop it under and up. And just notice how that impacts the quad. Now again, if it doesn't feel like it's pulling it in the right way, either don't do it or back off a little bit. Always know that left foot can drop down if needed. Let's take a few more rounds of box breath on this side. And then start to free out the foot. Reverse everything you did to get it to where it is now. And then a few windshield wipers, left and right with the knees. Good. When the knee feels pretty good, let's take the second side. Both knees pausing at the right. Maybe right ankle coming up. This could be the perfect spot. You could also prefer deeper for the quad, so the left foot will walk a little bit further to the left. If it's too intense, back off. Making sure we're always being helpful for the knee, not putting anything more than is helpful. And a good inhale. Exhale, start to release. Both knees come up. A few nice windshield wipers. Whenever that feels pretty complete, we'll work our way up toward a seated place. Planting the feet will give a hug around the thighs, trying to glue the torso down onto the thighs. This might be enough of a stretch for the back. If you want more, as we're going to pause here for a little while, at any point, if you want a little bit more, just start to inch your feet just a little bit further away. Don't feel like you have to get to the furthest step right away. Don't feel like you ever have to go any deeper than where you're at. It's just an invitation. If the body wants more, that back wants to go deeper, then we start to walk a little bit further. We lost the box breath. We'll reconnect to it in about 3 more cycles here. As we start to release from that last exhale, when that happens, the hands hit the floor and we press our way up. From here, the left knee will start to bend. So the knee bends out, so the foot comes in, and then the right foot travels behind us. From here, we begin to lean forward. If you lean toward the direction of the thigh, it's a little bit easier. Toward the shin is a little bit deeper. Some personal preference. Sometimes if I stack my palms, I can allow my forehead to rest. That's an option if you like it. Reconnecting to our circuits, to our box breath if we lost them at all. One more box breath. Finish that one. Pat the hands to help us rise. Keep this right knee more or less pointing forward. And then begin to take the hands behind us. We're going to travel backwards until we feel the quad stretch. So sometimes right here is plenty, or even just until we're under. If you want to lower down onto elbows, that's fine. Sometimes people go all the way to the back, so that's all personal preference. Just giving it lots of patience. Always know if the knee starts to lift, that's usually a sign that it's about the edge. So it's a good way to kind of check in with how long, how tight that muscle is right now. Perhaps you purposely allow the heart to arch up. Maybe head rests back on the pillows that the shoulders make. This helps to balance the spine from the forward fold position, giving it a little chance to arch just a bit. starting to come out. Let the head rise first. Start to walk up to one and both hands. And then I like to lean all the way over to the left to free up the right hip. Get a couple of windshield wipers. And we'll start heading to the second side. The right knee's bent. The left leg tucks up from behind. Yep, just like that. Maybe a moment to lift the spine tall before we start to walk forward, either over the thigh or over the shin. Maybe there's a way to try to kind of pull from the head. If it's not working, it can be nice to just let the head breathe so that we get that stretch in the back of the neck. I like to use a constant theme for class like the box from today because it's something that I can keep on returning to over and over and over again. It's so natural for thoughts to drift over time, but having this tool of returning to the circle, returning to the box breath, when our mind does wander, it's so useful to help train the brain little by little to have more of a one-pointed focus, rather than just being controlled by whatever thoughts might come at any time. So returning to that box breath, take 2 more cycles. Right, back up to that slow second one. Starting to travel backwards into the quad stretch for the left side. Maybe we start working down onto one elbow. If that's ever too intense, it's not required. Sometimes as we get here with the second elbow, the tailbone just has to lift a little bit, and suddenly we're there, deep into it. If the neck didn't like going backwards before, there's no pressure to do that. But if you are resting it back, see if you can also lift the heart up a couple of inches. So it's more of a complete arch to the spine. That may take some of the tailbone tuck away. So if that feels like it's more necessary in our body, just return to it. It gave us a chance to teeter-totter and explore both extremes. Find the one that's more necessary today. 2 more cycles of box breath. Slow journey to rise. Planting just a couple of windshield wipes. And start to take the legs back behind us. A little bit of time in child pose. Depending on how your spine feels, knees could be closer or knees could be further. So it really just depends on how it all feels. Sometimes it's nice to bring the hands into prayer position and then start to swing the hands behind the head. If that feels good, take it. If not, leave it. And notice where the mind is right now. Is it on the breath? Would it like to return to the breath? Starting to come back to the ground if they lifted. And then scooting the head and the arms off the left side, we feel a nice lateral stretch. How does the box breath feel when the lungs are stretched this way? Walking the hands through the center, begin to shift to the other side. And walking the arms back into the middle of the mat. Take 2 more rounds of box breath. After that second one, we come up onto all fours. Explore a couple of cat-cows. See if you can take that box breath with the cat-cow. So when we exhale for the cat, pause for the forward. Inhale through the cow. that transition when we get there. Then you'll pause for the 4. See how it feels to have movement with the box breath. One more round. Slide back up to neutral. Right arm floats up to the sky. And then thread that right arm under and through. Try to get the shoulder all the way down. Just choose the favorite position for left arm, be it wrapping around the low back or walking all the way up to the front. One more box breath here. And then slide the left hand in so we can press into it. Let's rise. Take the box breath, cat-cow. Find neutral, left arm floats, thread it under and through. If you haven't moved our positions, feel free to find one that works for this side. Another inhale. And an exhale. Slide the right hand in. Pressing our way up. Box breath, cat-cow. And finish that one, lower down onto the belly. We'll take the shoulder stretch to the other direction. So right arm is going to be a nice 90-degree angle, like a cactus arm off to the right. Right cheek is down. Left hand, we press into it until we start feeling the shoulder stretch. So some people don't get all the way to the hip lifting up. Some people trace the top leg backward to go deeper, or you can rotate the foot to plant that foot behind. So you're just finding a placement that gets the shoulder in a good stretch. Not worrying too much about the shape of the rest of the body. Just helping it over. One more inhale. Pause. Exhale, start to return the head down. And pause. Flip the head to the other direction as that left arm takes a 90-degree angle shape. And then we begin to press into right hand, finding the perfect amount of opening for the left shoulder this time. Another inhale for 4. Pause. Exhale, return down. And pause. Good. Find both hands under the shoulders. Gently press up. We'll wiggle through the hips for just a moment. Spine feeling more open, shoulders open. And then from here, we're going to step the right foot there toward the top right edge of the mat. We'll start sinking the hips forward, perhaps dropping down onto left elbow, and the left hip lowers. From here, continue to turn those right toes to the right side, and maybe the right elbow or the right hand. Help this right leg to continue to open to the right amount. If the complete drop is too much, lizard pose is a great option. So whatever amount isn't too much, a good release, hips opening, taking that variation. Coming back up to both hands planted, go ahead toward a gentle pigeon pose. So this right foot starts to heel toe all the way over to the left side until the knee can gently set down. The toes are welcome to continue to be tucked in if that's helpful for the knee. And then rest gently all the way to the elbows. Nice sleeping pigeon. And return back to the box breath. One more cycle. As that cycle completes eventually, no rush. And gently work your way back up. Send this knee back. Take a few wiggles in the hips or in the shoulders or in the spine, whatever's helpful. Good. Eventually left foot to outside of left hand. Perhaps simply sinking forward here, up on hands or down on elbows is fine. That's more of a lizard pose. Or perhaps we lower all the way to right elbow, turn the left toes to the left. Then set the right foot down and gently push that left side up a little bit. Box breath. And as the cycle completes, start to head toward the pigeon. Bring the left toes all the way over to the right side. Keeping the sacrum level as we lower down, maybe to elbows. Checking with our circuits, how are things doing so far? Are there any short-circuited wires? Wires that we need to focus on for the next stage of our life to help us kind of replace anything that was missing or broken? How lightly is the light shining for us? Is it bright or is it dull or even non-existent? Another box breath. And then to come out of this side, it may be helpful just to rock all the way onto that left hip. Start to rise up, the other leg swings forward. And just settle both feet down into a nice cobbler's pose. This can be further away, it can be closer. I personally like to at least have a moment where the spine gets to lift up straight and tall. And then if the release wants to be forward today, let that release start to happen. Head heavy when you get there. Neck relaxed. One more slow, deep box breath. A gentle rise up. Kick up the knees. Legs get to open wide. They can absolutely be planted a bit higher, or perhaps straightening them out might feel nice. The idea for this one is with that exhale pause, we're going to see if there's a chance to walk deeper. So continuously exploring, and this could literally be a millimeter, just slightly. So take your nice inhale. Pause. Exhale. And maybe with the pause, we release just a bit further. We'll just continue to repeat a few times. Three more cycles wherever we're relaxing into. Don't feel any need to rush your breath. Some people finish sooner, so when you do finish, then you'll begin to make your way down onto your back. Check in with your body. If there's last movements that would be so kind to the body, take it. Maybe it's a happy baby at this point. Maybe it's another twist. Anything else that might be very kind and very helpful. And even as you eventually head toward your Shavasana pose, find the variation that's the highest and kindest good for our body today. Whatever that looks like. At least for the first part of our Shavasana today, take a few more mental rounds of that box breath. After the couple of rounds, if it's just natural muscle memory by this point to do that, that's great. If you prefer to release deeper through another breath, that's also wonderful. As we start to head out of our Shavasana, check in with our circuits. So allowing little wiggles to happen to the fingers. How does that part of our body feel? And the toes. Ankles and wrists. Further up to elbows and knees. Eventually entire arms and legs. An entire body. Gently stretching like it's waking up. Eventually head over to a nice fetal position. Perhaps just for the fun of it, enjoying another cycle or two of box breath before we come up to sit. With our hands at our heart, we feel the entire circuit complete. We see our light shining brilliantly. So with this light, this onward, let's wrap up this wonderful time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.